can you give me a list of the inspections I need to have done?
Hello everyone, this is Ashley Jamerson coming to you from Ashley Lambert Realty, and today it's only 9:53 and today's already started out about like how yesterday started. So yesterday my daughter and I were locked out of the house because after vacation I was still in vacation mode and I had my cruise key to the door but didn't have the car key, so walked outside, locked out. My husband had to rush and let us back in. Today we got stuck in over 40 minutes of traffic, which is great because, you know, what other way to start a dark and gloomy day than to be stuck in traffic. But luckily my daughter did not get a tardy, so all of my morning appointments had to get rescheduled or juggled around. I am actually on my way to Brentwood, which is a TrueHomes community that is still Charlotte, but sort of kind of Harrisburg-ish. I'm heading up there. I have 3 builds now going in that neighborhood, and I need to check the progress. One will be closing next month. Another will be closing like May, June-ish, I believe, as well as another one closing in like July. So the one closing in July, they should at least have the slab framed out. The one closing April, May-ish, that one is should be in drywall. And my other one, we're doing final punch list. I'm checking on toilets today. I am also checking on stained granite today. I'm checking for nicks and boo-boos in the drywall, irregularities. I'm looking at the sod. While I was away on vacation, my client sent me an email regarding the sod. Now, we are in winter, so the grass that most builders use goes dormant in the winter. And it's ugly, it's brown. I mean, no one wants to move into a brand spanking new house and their yard is brown. But I am going to just double check and make sure that it's not like legit dead. I mean, that would suck. So I'm going to check on those things, and then I'm going to have lunch with my husband where we will probably spend the whole time talking about business. So another thing that happened yesterday is I met with the contractor who was building the investment property that my husband and I are building. We looked at lots. I found a lot that I really like. I found a floor plan that I really like, and we should get legit numbers in today so we can move forward. But my husband being the awesome person that he is, he always likes second and third opinions. He likes references, he likes numbers. So I'm going to try to bombard him with as much information as possible so he feels comfortable moving forward. In our relationship, I think that we're both dreamers and go-getters. I think I'm more task oriented, but I don't know because I haven't had a chance to work with him full time yet. But yeah, we're different. We're similar, but we're different. So it's going to be awesome seeing how those differences, you know, affect our relationship. I need some coffee because we have not had creamer for the past 2 days, like since we've been home. So I need to stop and get coffee before I start all of these errands. So I will check in with you guys soon.
Hi, welcome to Starbucks. What can we get started for you today?
Yes, can I please get a grande caramel macchiato?
Yeah, did you want a hot or ice?
Hot, please.
Alrighty, can I get you anything else?
Yes, what protein boxes do you have?
Let me double check.
So these protein boxes, expensive, but really tasty, and it's healthier than fast food when I'm on the run. And I typically have a whole bunch of points, but I'd like to save them, and I try to catch them before they expire. I like to save them for Disney because you can use the points at the Starbucks at Disney for merchandise. So you can get like a huge Walt Disney World or a Disneyland, depending on where you're at. You can get a big thermos. I like the clear Trenta, which I love mine. So yeah, I try to save them, especially when we get close to Disney. And we'll be going to Disney within the next 3 months. So I just want to make sure that I am keeping an eye on my points. So off to Brentwood we go. checked my my messages yet, but I definitely will. Is there anything I can help you with now?
Yes, I wanted to ask you some questions. We signed a real estate contract. We wanted to purchase some property, and it's going to be like investment property.
Uh-huh.
But the thing is, when we signed it, and so
how are you financing it? I think that, so who's saying that it can't be done? TrueLine or the seller? Oh, okay.
Is that correct?
So I think it just really depends on the whole situation. There's ways, like if you want closing costs, there's ways to write in. You could possibly like reduce the purchase price. You know, like do an amendment. Are you working with a real estate agent?
No,
Yeah, you probably need to maybe get with the real estate attorney and draft it and change it. I mean, I couldn't do anything because I'm not involved in the transaction, so I couldn't touch the contract.
well, I understand that, but I don't know what to do.
I would call. Who's your real estate attorney doing the closing on March 13th? What? Well, he represents you. What about the listing agent that you're buying it from? Can she help you do it?
Well, we're going without a listing agent, and a friend of mine actually that is a real estate person helped us fill this out.
Well, you're going to have to reduce the closing cost down to $2,200. Yeah, so reduce whatever that line, it says closing cost and the amount you have in there now. Mark through it, write $2,200, and then you initial it, and then the sellers initial it. Now, if you still want to be compensated for that difference because you're giving the seller a break on, you know, financially, you can also reduce the purchase price by that same amount. Mark through it, you initial it, they initial it, and then make sure that the attorney and the lender get it. So you can mark through the
really rewrite. We don't have to rewrite this whole thing.
No, you don't have to. I mean, there's an agreement to amend, an actual form that they could fill out, and like you can have your friend fill it out. It's called the agreement to amend. I think the first line is the purchase price, so put the old purchase price and then the new purchase price, and then down a few lines it'll have to change the closing costs, put the old closing costs and the new closing costs, and then have everybody sign it and date it, and then once it's signed and dated, send it to the lender and send it to the attorney. You don't have to draft up a whole new contract. You can either mark through an initial on the original contract, or you can draft an amendment to the contract.
Mark through it or fill out amendment.
Yeah, I mean, it's cleaner to do the amendment, but if she doesn't have access to the amendment, then you can mark through it and then write really neatly the new prices for everything and have everybody initial it. If you were working with the realtor, it's in our Zip Forms catalog. Is she like a licensed real estate agent? Because she should have it in her Zip Forms catalog. It's literally called Agreement to Amend.
Yeah, she would have one.
Yeah. I mean, I got an agreement to amend drafted and sent over and signed, like e-signed, like within the same day, within a couple of hours, get everybody to e-sign it and then sent it over to the attorney. It doesn't take long. It's just that you're sort of you're sort of like handicapped because you don't have a realtor at all in the transaction. So yeah, there's like septic and stuff. If there's a septic tank, yeah. And if there's a well test, you need to test the well, and you need to. I mean, it's a lot of inspections. I mean, I usually have my clients do a regular inspection, a termite, and a radon test, and then if they have a well or a septic tank, I have them test that too. And then if there's any problems wrong with the well or septic, I have to call my well and septic people to give me quotes so I know what to ask for on repairs. No, the realtor does it all. The mortgage company just does the title search, the deed prep, the loan doc prep, like the package preparation. They sign it, record it, all that stuff. They you know, they hold the escrow money and they disperse funds and stuff after it's closed. And they handle any clouds on the title and stuff, but they don't do any scheduling. I mean, the most may do is like order a survey, but that's it. You may need to do a survey, because if there's no fence, then you need to make sure that you know where to put a fence. And then if you plan on putting a fence up, you need to make sure you're not encroaching on someone else's land. Well, the survey will let you know if someone else is encroaching on your land, and also let you know if you have any easements on your property. So like if something happened with like a water line or electrical or something, and it's like city owned, then they can come into your property and they can access those points if there's an easement, and then mess up your yard basically, and then you would be responsible for fixing it once they get done. Well, if they already have a survey, maybe ask the seller for a copy of the survey. But most of whenever I just got finished walking property, but like I schedule all the inspections and I follow up and do all this stuff.
Can you give me a list of the inspections I need to have done?
Is it city water or city sewer, or is it attached to a well and septic?
County, just
okay,
well
so so there is a well and septic? Yeah, you need to get a well and septic test done too. Because I found E. coli in water before. So you want to definitely get a well water test. But all this stuff is supposed to be done before the due diligence period, and it sounds like your due diligence period may be over soon. No, you pay the due diligence fee, but you also have a due diligence period. So if you do find E. coli in the water, or you find that there's radon and they don't want to fix it, then you have the right to back out and get your earnest money back. But you have until a certain date to get that done.
Back out. Yeah,
but if you find E. coli, like bacteria, that's basically poop. If you find that in your water, and the seller is like, I don't want to put in a mitigation system, I don't want to fix it, then it's smart to back out, because you have poop in the water.
You got what in the water?
E. coli. So if you do your water test and you find out that you have E. coli in your water, that's like basically poop. So if the seller is like, okay, I'm not going to fix it because it costs, you know, a lot of money, then you have until a certain date to back out. Or if you do your home inspections and you find out that there's asbestos or lead-based paint or some type of structural problem, or there's a bad roof, or the HVAC doesn't work, then you have until a certain date to back out and get your earnest money back.
Thanks.
I have no idea. I have no idea. But
due diligence time was closing it also.
No, I mean, I don't know what form you use. If you use like the standard North Carolina offer to purchase, then there's 2 dates.
No, they didn't put out but the 1 date.
Oh, okay. It's up to you. I mean, I've had radon. Radon is a carcinogen. Don't have a crawl space. I found radon in crawl spaces and slabs and basements. If it hasn't been pumped in a while, I mean, I've done one before where it was really close to overflowing, and it's really expensive to fix it once it overflows. I mean, I don't know when the last time they had it. I don't know anything about the house, but it's really a good idea to have them pump it. Yeah, but this is an investment property, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, when it comes to like investments, you don't want it to be a money pit on the back end, because it'll mess up your return of investment. Yeah, it's really good to have a realtor, at least somewhere, the seller's agent or a buyer's realtor. Like, it's really good to have a realtor, because all this stuff would have been scheduled. You would, you know, like my clients sort of sit back and sort of relax a little bit, because I just tell them when to show up for stuff, you know.
Right.
Makes it a little bit easier, especially if you may have purchased a home to live in, but purchasing an investment is a completely different situation, because it is a different loan type and everything. So Yeah. But definitely, like, good luck with everything.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I listened to your YouTube video last night, and I thought, oh, she's the one I need to talk to. And it's like, maybe you can help me, but
it depends on your loan. It depends on your loan. So I've had people get $45,500 in down payment assistance and closing costs, but it's an FHA first-time home buyer loan, and they're allowed more money. But with the investment, it's different. So, but the realtor doesn't really, like your friend, you don't have a buyer agency agreement with her, even though she's helping you draft stuff. So I don't know if she's actively selling real estate, but you know.
Yeah, she is. She is. She has been for years.
Oh. Why didn't she sign on as your buyer's agent?
What does that mean?
Like, a buyer's agent represents you. They draft the documents, they do all of the scheduling for you, and
that's because I'm not paying her as a real estate agent. She's just doing it as a friend for me.
The seller gets it. Yeah, the seller. Yeah.
I don't know why she would. It was almost like she was trying to do stuff for the seller. And I don't know why she did that. Because I told her I didn't want to do that. I want to do earnest money. Because that's always the way I've done it. But because you get your earnest money back if you back out. Due diligence they get.
You get, I mean, they get it, but it's applied to the purchase price. Both of them are, you know, yeah. So, I mean, if you go through with it, you're good. But yeah, you'd have to ask your lender how that's going to be applied. Because it's closing costs. It's not part of the loan. It's closing costs. It pays for the attorney fees and doc prep and stuff like that.
Well, I don't want the closing costs.
You'd have to speak with your lender about that. How it's going to be applied.
Okay, let me just read all this right quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, you might need to have your friend become your buyer's agent, because that's a lot of stuff that's changing, and you might need to talk to her and see if she'll,
She'll help me with this?
Yeah, because it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot to know. It's a lot. So you may need to go ahead and have that conversation with her. Right, that's why you need a real estate agent. You have to get somebody. You have to. I mean, it might be too late now because you're already under contract, but I don't know. I mean, see if your friend will just be a friend and like continue to help you out, because she sort of got you into this and she can't wash her hands of it now. She drafted the documents.
Okay, well, you just helped me with it. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate your help.
Thank you.
And I loved your video. I wish I'd watched your video before I started doing this contract, and then maybe I would have, I could have talked to a lending agent. Well, I talked to a lending agent, actually.
A lender only does the money. So they'll approve you for a loan. So that's like a pre-qualification, pre-approval. Then the realtor is supposed to know what you got on the lending, so they can help you find a house that matches your loan product. No,
I found out that you told me wrong.
Yeah, because everybody should stay in their lane. Like, the lender only knows money, and the realtor knows the land, the house, the issues that come with it, and the documents and stuff. And then I don't even cross the line into the attorney stuff, because they're doing title work and deed work and stuff. So like, all three lanes are working at the same time to meet together at the end. But everybody should stay in their own lane, because you will get situations where the lender will know the gist of it, but not know when things should be done and how it should be done. They just know that inspections should be done, but they don't know which inspections and things like that. So you went to a lender and you did the right thing there, but the missing piece is that there's no real estate agent involved whatsoever. And on top of that, it's not a seller person, it's an estate. So that's a whole other pile of worms right there, because hopefully the attorney is making sure that the estate can actually sell you the property, and that there's no other heirs floating around out there. like a half sister or a brother that's in another state or something like that, that they're actually, everybody that's on it is on it, and that, you know, and who should sign and when they should sign. Like, it doesn't seem like they're going to come to the closing, so it's probably going to be a mail away closing. So usually, like, the realtor is sort of like the conductor of an orchestra, where they just keep everything going smooth.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have had to have paid for the buyer's agent. The seller would have paid for the buyer's agent, because the buyer's agent would have sent another form that's like a compensation agreement for compensation, you know.
I'm not sure what you mean.
So if your friend wanted to, like, really help you, she could have sent a form that solidified her compensation from the seller, not from you, so she could represent you and keep things moving smoothly.
Oh, she didn't want to get real estate involved because she's going to have to ask more for the house.
How much is the house?
It's $110,000.
So it would have been like a $3,010 increase in the price. But if this doesn't go smoothly, you'll lose your $1,000 due diligence and plus any inspections, when it would have been so much easier to have her get compensated by the seller at closing.
It is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully it works out, but definitely speak with your friend and see if she can help you, because like I said, she got you into this, so she should definitely be able to help you get out.
I'm sure she'll help me, you know. It was just like, I hated to ask her, you know, to do any more, you know, because, but I'm sure she'll help me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good luck with that. So I just got off the phone with not even a client, but a person who watched one of my YouTube videos, and she has herself in a little bit of a pickle. And it's a prime example of why you want to have a real estate agent involved. Lady sounded really awesome on the phone. She's probably a subscriber, but she's in a situation where she doesn't know what to do next. She's running into some issues with the lender. She has to revise the contract. She's buying the home from an estate, which is like an entity that has a lot of moving parts. She thought that the lender was going to schedule all these inspections for her, and she's in a pickle. And she has a friend who started drafting documents, you know, being friendly, I guess. She's a real estate agent, a broker somewhere, and the friend basically, she doesn't want to ask her friend to do more, so she called me. But basically, if you're buying or selling real estate and you want to save money by not having a real estate agent, A, that's a terrible idea. I have a video for that. I'll probably list it below. But B, it can actually, she may be in a situation where it'll cost her money to not have a real estate agent, because she doesn't really know what due diligence period is. She knows she paid a due diligence fee. She didn't pay earnest money. It's a lot of moving parts in real estate. It's not what you see on TV. You're not just going to look at a house and saying, oh, I want that house, especially when it's an investment property, because you want to make sure that you're not buying an onion, you're not buying a dud, and that you're actually going to get a good return on investment, because not every good deal is a good deal. As my husband and I have been looking at real estate, we see, like, we can do like a quick calculation and say, this is not going to pan out. You're going to be in a negative each month. It's not going to pan out. Now, if you have things like well and septic, and it's an older house, you have another can of worms. You're going to have to get a well inspection, a septic inspection. You're going to have to make sure that there's no asbestos, and if there is, you don't touch it. Lead-based paint. There's just a lot of moving parts. And I do get a lot of people who say, hey, I'm under contract right now. And when they say that, I'm like, there's nothing I can do, because you're under contract right now. And they go on and tell me their problem, and either they have a real estate agent who is MIA and not really there, don't know what they're doing, or they don't have an agent at all and they would like for me to help them. And there's not really a lot I can do legally, because I don't know the house, I don't know the contract, I don't know the situation, so I can give very, very top level information just because it's not my client. I don't know what is going on. I'm just seeing the issue through their eyes, and they don't really know all of their issues. But I do have a video. It's called "Do I Need a Real Estate Agent?" I think it pertains more to new construction, but it's all real estate. I mean, even when I'm showing property to clients and they're like, oh, I love it for all these gazillion reasons, I'm sometimes back there in the back playing devil's advocate, like, hey, did you know that there's like a busy road right here, or this doesn't look right, or if there's popcorn ceilings, I'm like, oh, right above us, I think there was some water damage in the past, or whatever. I mean, it's just really good to have some unbiased eyes when you're looking at a property and when you're dealing with the situation, because once you put that money down, once you are under contract, the buyer and the seller are both emotionally attached to the outcome of the property, and the realtors are really just supposed to be very factual and emotionally not tied. Like, I'm not emotionally tied to any of my clients closing. Like, I want them to close, I want them to buy a good and solid house, and I really want them to be happy in the situation. But emotionally, I'm not like, oh my gosh, this would be a beautiful room for your baby, and when I think about the file, I think about the nursery. I don't do that. I just say, this is a great room, please don't turn it, please don't get rid of the closet, because when you go to sell it, you need this to count as a bedroom. Or maybe if it's like a bonus room, I'm like, hey, you can add some walls here if you need an additional room, and if you add a closet, when you add the walls, you can possibly count this as an additional bedroom, which would make the value of your house go up. That's my job. I'm not emotionally attached to the property. I'm there to listen. I've heard some stories, but I'm not emotionally attached. So that was 26 minutes of my life that I will not get back, but I do wish her luck. I hope her friend steps up to the plate and like helps her, because her friend got her into this. She should not have just drafted an offer and not go over it, because this lady does not know what's going on at all. The attorney even told her, like, I don't help with that, I'll tell you what needs to be fixed, but I don't do it. The lender can't do it because that's not in their lane. So I hope her realtor friend pops up, because that's just sort of jacked up for you to get your friend under contract and not make minimal changes to make it work for her loan and explain this thing a little bit more fuller to her. But I digress, it's whatever. I just finished walking through all 3 of the Brentwood builds that I have going on. I'm now heading from Harrisburg area to Mooresville to have lunch with my husband. After lunch, I'm going to shoot down to my Sutton Farms house. It's a D.R. Horton build. I promise you, if the city of Mecklenburg County or the city of Charlotte does not get it together with these water tests, I don't know what's going on, but my client was supposed to close late January, early February, and now they're talking March because of this water test. So I really want to go and lay eyes on it. The house itself is completed. It's one of D.R. Horton's largest floor plans, so it's beautiful, but it's annoying. So I will check in with you guys later.
And do the things that she needs to do.
Okay, that's good.
So that was a good sign. So I'm thinking hopefully by mid this year, she'll be in a position where she's ready to go, because hers was mostly just getting collections down.
Okay, if you can text me the last name and like quick note, text it to me, I'll update my stuff. I promise you, my Excel file is like, so it's organized but not organized. It's crazy. Those lots are actually going somewhere between 199 and 205, but I'm thinking that we could probably push it and do like 220. So the one at 1220 North Davidson sold for 205, but that was like back in July of last year. And then the one at 1316 North Davidson sold for 195, but that was back in September of last year. Hey guys, so I made it to Reggie and I's Mexican lunch spot. We've been coming to Zapata's for like 5 years now. So the owners have actually seen me pregnant with both kiddos, and they've actually met our kids, and we've been through so many life changes. So we always make it a point to have lunch at least twice a month here. If we're not here, we are going to Barcelona's, which is up in Mooresville, or we go to, there's this Asian place. It might be Chinese food, but it might be like a blend place. We'll go there. That's not that often. Like, that's if I have a taste for Chinese food, we'll go there. But I love it here at Zapata's. But and there's 2 locations that we go to. So we'll come to the one up here in Cornelius, or we'll go to the one at University. But if he's at work, we'll go to Cornelius, and if he's at home working with me, then we'll go to the one in University because it's close to our office. But I just got a listing appointment that I need to put on my planner. I also need to add to my planner to send my client the listing docs for him to review that we're going to go over on Sunday during our listing appointment. Ooh, handsome man. Ooh. Hey guys, so I am back. I just finished my real estate coaching appointment. I meet with my coach every week, every Wednesday at 3:15, and I'm only supposed to get 30 minutes, but we usually get sidelined and talk about a bunch of other stuff. So we just finish up, and I'm heading to the bank to cut a check for one of my agents. She closed on a home, so it's time to cut her commission check. So super excited for that. So far this week has been pretty great. I have 2 listings that are going live soon. Both of those are purchasing homes. I received notification on Monday that I am in the top 1% in this region for TrueHomes, which means that not only am I a core realtor, but I've sold a lot of TrueHomes homes. They make a really good product, and if you don't know that, you should definitely look at my walkthrough videos. So there has not been a month for the past maybe like 18 months that I didn't have at least one true home house being built. So right now I have 3 in the Brentwood community. I have 1 down in Gastonia getting built. That's just currently, and I have another person that's looking to build a Riley here in the near future. So they make a really good product. They're affordable, they're high quality. You definitely get a good value for those homes. So yeah, as you can see, that's why I am in the top 1%. So that's awesome. So I'll be recognized at the upcoming event. So my guy told me that. And then I received an email today that said that I am in the top 10 again with real estate customer service in the area. So I'll be getting my 2020 plaque, which is amazing. So super excited, a lot going on. I'm just patiently waiting for my office to get done. So I moved from the office space that I was renting near IKEA Boulevard. And I was like, okay, let me find a bigger space, more natural light, something that's, you know, easier to shoot videos in other than my car. And the space was supposed to be available, like ready to move in January. And now it's February and I'm still not in there yet. And we don't have a move-in date. So it's looking more like we will not be able to move in until March, which isn't terrible. It's just that I like to keep my work and personal life separate, and I like to meet my clients, you know, like in an office and not at Amelie's, even though I love Amelie's. So patiently waiting, but let me go ahead and get to the bank. Then I'm picking up my daughter. We have to jet to the grocery store because I am making an awesome warm salad this evening. It's so cold outside, so I'm gonna find some like good crusty bread and make some quinoa, roasted vegetables like Brussels sprouts, maybe some sweet potatoes, maybe some cranberries, some like dried cranberries, and like a little warm vinaigrette to put over it. I might even toss in some kale. But after our cruise vacation, I definitely feel like we need to detox and get back on our normal diet in our home, other than all the crap we ate on the cruise. So like I say all the time, I will check in with you guys on my next stop, and if I don't, it's because I got, you know, tied up doing mommy stuff. But I will talk to you guys soon.